Merry Christmas and welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
It's a Boxing Day special, which means we're going to be discussing all of our favourite tech and trends and stuff that's happened in 2024. Let's do it. Woo!
Plus, as always, we've got the Bike Vault comments of the week, and I've actually got you a Christmas present.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah. That was so
What do you
rough.
call a reindeer who can't see?
Don't know.
No idea.
Oh. Now with 2024 drawing to a close, and before we get on to 2025, well, the first thing we need to do is actually do my Christmas cracker. Wait.
Oh, one again. What did one snowman say to the other snowman?
I'm not sure, you tell me.
Do you smell carrots?
That's absolutely awful.
There you go. You get
Anyway,
as well.
before we get
Don't
on to
usually
talking
left out.
about our list of favourite tech from 2024, we're going to keep this relatively brief, and it's not an exhaustive list because we all know we need to get back to spending time with our loved ones, not because we actually particularly enjoy that, but we need to get credits and passes lined up for when we buy our next bike next year or when we want to go on bike adventures.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about like our favourite stuff, the best tech that's happened this year.
Yeah.
This is an exhaustive list. It's the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Right, can I kick this thing off?
Yeah.
Right, the first thing I want to talk about is out and out aero bikes and the fact that it seems like we've seen the return of them ever so slightly. The industry started to deviate away and go one bike to rule them all and do everything. But there have been a few notable brands out there this year that have really pushed the boundaries and utilised the UCI relaxing their rules for once. So we've got the Dare bike.
That one stands out to me, mainly because Jonas Abrahamsen Tour, just in the breakaway like every day. It's absolutely annihilating it. Like, incredible.
Yeah.
Super aero bike, yeah.
Other aero bikes that we've seen. The start of the year, we saw the Dogma F launch. Almost forgotten about that. Now we're back
I
in
wouldn't
the year.
even call that the now aero bike though.
Okay. We've got the Air Road.
Leave that for later in the show.
Save that for later. We have the Air Road, and then most recently, the most radical one being the Colnago Y1 RS.
Yeah, but also the new Ridley, which has kind of been leaked and sneaked, which is going to be being ridden next year because the Uno X aren't on the Dare anymore.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that, actually. Yeah, that's a really good point. Now, I think it's great to see out-and-out aero bikes coming back, or just that category develop further, because for people that are racing, aero bikes make a lot of sense. They make a lot of sense to everybody. But what I also want to see is performance bikes continuing to be developed for the everyday rider. Because we don't all have to ride aero bikes, do we? Would you say it's good, bad? What are you thinking?
I think next year we're going to see a bunch of endurance bikes come out. I'm already hearing rumours of various big brands who are going to be renewing the endurance bike. I think next year's a big endurance bike year.
Connor's going to be in his element, isn't he?
He's going to be loving it.
Right, other stuff that I think is pretty cool, cooling tech. Now, this is more your sort of realm of expertise, but we've seen riders paying more attention to their cooling. We've seen other tech release, like the cooling sensors. We've seen even the cooling bar tape that I saw at Eurobike.
Yeah. No, it's really, I feel, it's still not quite, I wouldn't say mainstream, but for those that are looking for an edge, it's big and the tech exists. Like, I would just, be jumping all over this kind of thing. Speaking of which, you got your Christmas present.
Oh, you got me a Christmas present?
Yeah, don't get too excited.
I was hoping that I was the only one that got a present and you were going to feel really awkward.
No, I've got you a cooling vest. Look, I promise you, this is you're going to wear it, put it on, just put it on over your head. These are the pouches, no expense was spared with this. You can pay about £100 to £200 for a cooling vest. Now you look like you're serving meals in a school cafeteria. These are the cooling pouches. You put those in the fridge and then they go in there. That cools you down. You're going to annihilate your next indoor training workout now. Or Zwift race.
Thanks, mate. That means a lot.
I'll keep your core cool.
I'm really happy.
You look cool.
Yeah.
You look really cool.
You know, this is like at Christmas when you wanted something really good and you didn't get it.
Yeah, you look great. Yeah.
All right, so here's we're doing presents.
All right.
I've spared no expense on the wrapping.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm not into wrapping. Wrapping's overrated.
Try and work out why I've given you this.
Oh, wow. It's a Power Rangers backpack. It's because I said it in that video. Oh, always wanted one of these. Wow. I've waited like 30 years. It's a Power Rangers backpack.
Right, if anyone that doesn't understand why on earth I've got Ollie the backpack, can we play the clip from the best gifts to buy cyclists at Christmas?
There you go.
Now you look like you're ready to go to school.
You're going to serve me dinner.
Buying the wrong thing can be disastrous, like that one time at school when my mum bought me the Powerpuff Girls lunchbox instead of the Power Rangers one.
Right, in 2024, we've also seen a greater acceptance of chunky boys.
Beg your pardon?
I know you're thinking it isn't nice to comment on people's weight and judge people, but I'm not talking about people's weight. I'm talking about chunky tyres, wide rims, and the fact that it seems like every couple of months there's a wider tyre and a wider rim, and then the cycle goes round and round and round and round until we've now got, I don't know, 45, 50 mil gravel tyres starting to become the norm. We're seeing gravel rims with an internal rim width of at least 30 millimetres, and it feels like the wheel industry and the tyre industry, instead of working together, are almost like trying to outdo each other, and then it just gets more and more and more extreme.
Where will it end? We don't know.
I actually don't know where it's going.
The thing is, right, it's like Pirelli bring out that 40 mil tyre
Yeah.
and it sells out and everyone goes crazy for it.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, even if it's like not faster, I guarantee you, if Pirelli brought out a 50 mil road tyre, big, round, smooth, chunky P0,
Yeah.
people would want it.
I would want it.
People would want it.
Is it? Do you think also it's
So I'm calling it now. That is going to happen. I don't know if it's better, I don't know if it's faster, but people will want it. People blooming love wider tyres. They want wider tyres.
Well, there's also...
I don't know why, it's the mystery.
They're also not going to fit in that many road bikes. You're going to have to use these big fat slick tyres on your gravel bike. And I think it's a mega way of turning your gravel bike into actually quite a good road bike still. What else should we discuss? This is something you said, actually. The acceptance of Chinese brands. I'm not sure how I feel about titling up like that, but what are you thinking?
Well, no, I think that there has been that increasing thing of, we've seen it definitely this year, and it looks like next year it's really going to happen. Like we've mentioned it with Astana and their sponsorship for next year with XDS Carbon. But just with the sort of, Chinese direct-to-consumer brands, we have Elite Wheels as a sponsor here on the channel.
Yeah.
And, the group sets as well that are being made by like Sensor. L2. Are becoming more mainstream. In the past, it was this thing of like, like maybe there was a guy in your cycling club that bought some wheels or bought a group set, but they were sort of, it was always like, don't fully trust that.
Don't ride near him.
Yeah, whereas now, it's becoming a lot more popular and a lot more mainstream.
A couple of things I want to pick up on. I don't feel like we can just say Chinese brands because I think it's maybe like the Far East. It's not just Chinese brands that we're seeing emerge.
Some of it's from Taiwan.
Yeah, there's other nations and countries, but maybe the Far East. But also I think it really is, we need to grasp the fact that it is the acceptance of the brand, not necessarily the product, because there are so many European, maybe even American brands that's product is already made in the Far East, and it's
but that's why
no one's questioning. I think people. No. I know you're saying that.
It's direct consumer.
I know you're saying that, but I think people are judging it as a product, not necessarily just the brand, because lots of stuff is made there, and we're still happy with it.
Yeah, but the one thing I will say is there's definitely a lot of incorrect misinformation that goes around.
Yeah,
where they go, everything's made in the same factory. No, it's not.
Yeah.
They go like, everything's made in China. Like, no, it's not. A big difference is the general thing is that the more top end stuff is still made in Taiwan, and then there is a lot of stuff made in China, but it's not all in one factory. There's a lot of different places that do things.
Yeah, there's a huge variation in quality control, the quality of materials used and stuff like that, and that's why people are loyal to the brands that they're familiar with and the big brands with that history and heritage.
I think the other thing is that people seem to think that, say, there's like fake stuff that's just as good that just comes out the back door of, say, the Shimano factory.
It's like, I'm not feeling that.
No, that does not happen.
Okay, right. One of the last things I want to pick out for 2024 is obscure bike setups, I think, and pushing things to the limits. Part of what's caused this has been the Olympics that happened earlier in the year. We've seen new crazy products, crazy handlebars that just about meet the UCI regulations. We're seeing people using shorter and shorter cranks. We're seeing more extreme helmets, kits, skin suits, everything pushed to the limit.
Yeah.
Care to say much about it?
Don't really have much to say about
You
it.
must do, of course you do.
Shorter cranks. It's that thing, everyone's trying to get shorter cranks now.
Well, yeah, this is what
Pogacar.
I'm talking about. The trend is that we're seeing more extreme positions. People are wanting shorter cranks, but do they actually need that? And I think it's becoming more mainstream. Like the positions, people are going more extreme. I think all of this stuff has risen to the top because of the Olympics, and I think it is gradually gonna not fall to the wayside, but diminish in how prominent it is until we start to see the build-up for the next Olympic cycle.
Yeah. We forget that this year was like an Olympic year. So you did get all that stuff, and it does tend to go quiet and then build up again. But I think talking about like positions and stuff, it's interesting because certain bikes are going more down the route of that sort of more like time trial bike geometry where they're placing the rider further forwards and the weight is further forwards. And from an aero bike, kind of, but for an all-round bike you want to race on, it's kind of, I prefer something that's more weight distributed over the bike. And it's interesting because not all bikes are, you know, there's different bikes have quite different geometry in terms of how the rider sits on them.
That geometry aspect is a really good point. This is something I discussed in that video a few weeks back about ride feel. And Lucas, the engineer from Canyon, was saying how no one seems to be able to agree on a geometry that works best for a performance road bike. Lots of brands tend to stick down the same route that they've gone with, but they're all quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite tricky.
It's, well, the other thing is, well, going back to saying like the Pinarello F launched this year, which I kind of forgotten because it's just so much happened in the year and it's like a blur. But one of my favourite things about that bike, which I think is people don't realise, like I think this is a much bigger deal than what people realise, is the fact that they offer the cockpit in like every possible size combination.
Yeah,
because most bike brands, even say Specialised with the tarmac, do not do that. So, you know, you can go right down super narrow bars, but even on the super narrow bars, you can still get like a 140 stem.
Yeah, actually, I saw one of those in the bike shop the other week. I was like, look at the size of that thing.
Yeah, but like that, you know, it's that sort of ergonomic side is really important. Like, you know, extreme positions and stuff are great, but you've got to be able to get into that position.
One thing that is really cool that we saw at the Olympics was Wout van Aert using the disc on the front. Super cool, and we've actually got one coming in the post, haven't we?
Yeah. So the other thing that's gone mainstream this year,
Well,
turned-in levers.
Yeah, everyone is doing that now. I hated it to start with, but now I kind of have my levers turned in.
Yeah, I do as well. And even Sai was like, "Oh, because you remember when he rode my bike from London to Brighton? Yeah. He's like, I quite like your levers."
So
I quite like your levers.
So I say we've also come to peer pressure.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
As we said, this list isn't exhaustive, so please do get involved in the comment section down below and share what was some of your highlights from 2024 in terms of tech releases. Mega.
Hot tech. Not really much.
Well, we're currently wearing the best. Oh, I'm wearing the cooling tech.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really. I mean, it's Christmas. All the bike brands are taking a break. It's not really launched anything.
No one's launched anything out new. What we're going to do is save it all up for the start of 2025.
Let's do it.
Okay, it's now time for comments of the week. This is the part of the show where we pick out comments that you've been leaving underneath videos from last week. We haven't got loads to go through because, well, spoiler alert, we don't actually live in GCN Megabase. So we are at home currently enjoying Christmas. Right, first up from last week's show, why was everyone focused on talking about your hair?
I'll tell you why.
Go on.
Right. Well, it's not everyone, but I'd say a fair few of the comments, basically it's a human trait, human psychological trait. People point out things in others that they're subconsciously insecure about in themselves.
Oh, I was
People do it all the time.
I was expecting a slightly more upbeat and funny comment.
Also, well, my hair's bloody great.
I think it's looking great, mate.
There you go.
It's very voluptuous.
Au naturel.
Right. First comment from last week's from Megadeath6633. For God's sake, show the Officina bike. You two are drooling over it on the laptop. There's nothing for us to see. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Isaac, that was on you.
Yes.
Please put a couple of pictures up of it now.
Isaac.
Enjoy. And Clive Wokes 6954 says, amazing restraint shown, guys. You never once asked, are you concerned about the stiffness of your crank?
Not at all.
There was a lot of opportunities.
There was a lot
for
of double
euphemism.
entendre potential in that show, but we
Because-
were on best behaviour.
Because we're so grown up and
We're
mature.
just professionals.
Yeah, we
consummate professionals.
We don't ever joke about ridiculous things.
No.
You do a couple of
Well,
comments.
LPM84 says, did Ollie shack up last night in the GCN Tech booth? Looks like he had a rough night in the pub and just woke up. We've all been there. Yep, we have.
Andy Zephyr, where's Ollie this week? Amazing that you've got Hugh Jackman to sit in for him.
I mean, I'll take that.
All right, Wolverine.
Blonde Hugh Jackman. Great. You know who else has been labelled as a Hugh Jackman lookalike?
No.
Lloydie.
Really?
It's true.
I'm not surprised now he's been going to the gym so much.
He's too. When he had some longer hair and a bit of a beard. Honestly, Lloydie reckons that once someone commented on a show saying he looked like Hugh Jackman, but he also gets Mr. Muscle.
Right.
You don't know who Mr. Muscle is, do you?
Mr. Muscle, the from the cleaning ad.
Yeah, loves the jobs you hate.
Yeah, but
Who do you think is more Lloydie, Mr. Muscle or Hugh Jackman?
I'm sorry, Dan, Mr. Muscle. Right, we actually got a couple of useful comments to discuss. Carlo Bringant881.
Briganti.
Yeah, that one. Great
Briganti.
content. They want to ask if we could talk about carbon chain rings and traditional ones, at the pros and cons. Well, we can't go deep dive into that. Carbon chain rings for me are not really a go-to product, but in certain niche applications, kind of cool.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, all right, get that simple. And then last one, over to you.
Quad Squad says, discussing feel, I'd bet compliant cranks are more comfortable for long rides than stiff cranks. As a gravel guy, I love compliance wherever I can get it.
I'm going to throw it out there and say I think they're wrong. The compliance in your crank is not changing the comfort of your bike. I'm sorry. Maybe someone can prove me wrong, but I'm going to say it's not.
I'd
having
be
an
going
impact.
for like tyres and saddle.
Yeah, tyres, saddle, frame design. There's a million other things that you could do. And I'm sorry, it's not your cranks. Right. So
Bike Vault. Boxing Day Bike Vault.
It's now time for the Bike Vault. It's the part of the show where we judge your bikes to be either nice or super nice. If they're super nice, the bell gets rung. Bit rusty.
Daniel Sacristan has a Scott Speedster, which is in Glenorchy in New Zealand. Look at that.
He does say beat that scenery, and I don't think we could.
No,
beat
that is
scenery.
pretty spectacular. Although the road is in a real state of disrepair, isn't it? Now I understand why the hobbits went through the Misty Mountains. That road is terrible.
It makes a lot of sense, actually. Right. Big saddlebag, I'm not a fan of. Crank's not aligned. Other than that, it's not in the biggie smalls.
No.
Valves are also not aligned.
No, gubbins.
Gubbins.
That saddlebag looks like it's sort of one of the straps has broken and it's falling off.
I'm sorry, it's a nice.
It's a nice.
Yeah. Mark Van Lintel next. They said the bike was a present to themselves after graduating business school at the age of 44, and it's from a Dutch bike frame builder with Chinese elite wheels. And
And a Magene power meter on there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
7.8 kilos.
Also, we should point out he's deliberately lent the bike on the edge of the saddle to avoid painting or scratching the chain stage.
A lot of time for that.
Frame. Yes.
Good on you.
I think we can go super nice on that one. It's a nice clear background.
Yeah, I like that. Next up is from Caleb Laws with Remember when we rode Merida Sculptures and raced Fred Wright?
And it started to snow.
Yeah, that was absolutely grim, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I liked riding them, though.
That was good, that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember it being really cold and wet and grim.
I like the bike. Backdrop, okay, a little bit busy for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyres are aligned, valves are aligned, it's in the correct gear, there's no unnecessary accessories. The only downfall is that backdrop could be marginally better.
Yeah. I think it's super nice, that, though.
Super nice.
Yeah. That's good. Next is Phil Gar, who has a giant TCR C0. This is like a 2006 model, which
Rate
I
it.
really like. I had a giant from this era.
Do you know why I'm liking it?
And it's still my giant from this era as well. I know for a fact, because I see who I sold it to, it's still going strong.
Oh.
Like this one.
For fact.
It's good, isn't it?
I like it because it's got a Dura-Ace chainset on it.
And some 105.
Actually, a comment I forgot to pick out from underneath the show from last week was someone saying I must have been crying inside that the crank stiffness testing showed that Ultegra was better than Dura-Ace, and I've got endless Dura-Ace cranks.
I know. What are you going to do?
I start a second collection of Ultegras.
Get another chest of drawers.
Yeah. Nice or super nice? Super nice.
I think it's super nice. There's just one thing that is bothering me, which I'm going to have to raise this. I can't let it lie. Is the bike's not at a jaunty angle, but the front wheel is.
Well, we're going to let it lie. Next is Martin Hoffenzel with his dream bike, which is a Bianchi Ultra XR4. Another bike with elite wheels in. How has this happened? So many people rocking elite wheels these days. Crank's not aligned.
They're good. Where is that?
Well, I mean, normally you would tell everyone where it is.
Yeah. I don't know where that is. Looks good though, doesn't it?
It does look very good. It looks like the sort of place I would like to cycle. Bike, what are you thinking? It's very underexposed, the image.
Yeah, pretty dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't really see what's going on.
Nice.
Cranks. It's not even biggie smalls. Nice.
Yeah, nice, sorry. Shay next with the Tarmac SL7. It's not doing it for me. There's no standout features for me.
No.
It's just a very, middle of the road, playing it safe kind of
Also,
vibe.
the valves are very long.
Long valves. Nice, sorry. Right, you go next one.
Andy Cycles 2024, getting into the festive spirit. This was taken on the Strand, not in London, but in Tauranga, in the Bay of Plenty, in mid-December.
It's the last bike vault of 2024 as well, so we better judge it nicely.
Wow.
It's got tinsel on it.
Is that tinsel?
Are you saying, is that tinsel? Is it not pretty obvious that it's tinsel?
I mean, I would have said there's an argument that it does look like Bigfoot's appendage, but I would. I mean,
I'm going to not argue that with you.
yeah, but
Right, okay, stop being silly now.
yeah. This is a big bet. The last bike vault of 2025, 2024.
Crank's not aligned. It's not in biggie smalls. Wheels and tyres not aligned.
Yeah.
It's got
Bigfoot.
tinsel
A
on
piece
it.
of Bigfoot on it.
It was only a few minutes ago we were saying how grown up and sensible you were. You're literally wetting yourself over there.
Look at the shape of it.
It's not big and it's not clever.
Mate, that's it.
It's big. Right, come on. Put yourself together, man.
It's super nice.
Super nice.
Yep.
Right, that is one hell of a way to end 2024. Ollie, it's been an absolute blast doing every single show this year.
Yeah.
Can we fist bump
Yeah.
that? Oh,
Nice.
I love that.
Right.
Enjoy Christmas. Don't just get too carried away because we want 2024 to be an absolute banger. Right, see you later.
Love you. Bye.